How did Manchester United get knocked out of the Europa League against Sevilla in such a humiliating fashion? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. What happened is a universal truth. When the universe puts you in such an advantageous, privileged position, leading 2-0 against the team that has won this competition the most, at home, controlling the game, where they looked lethargic, where Sevilla looked beaten, you don't spit in the face of fate and hand your opponent a way back into the tie. What we did was we handed them 2 own goals. Here, Sevilla, life is not hard enough for us. We make it harder for ourselves. You are back in the tie. And I knew that the game and the tie was over at Old Trafford, because yesterday, right before the game, as I was preparing my cup of coffee at 2:45 a.m. so I can watch the game, I saw the stadium and I saw the atmosphere and I saw the energy, and I knew for sure that plus the fact that we were missing many of our key players meant that there was no way that we were gonna win the game. But I was still hopeful. I was still hopeful because all it meant was we just had to win one football game. And yet, boy, I was not prepared for what came after that. I posted a tweet where I said, I hope this game does not drag into a penalty shootout, because Yassine Bounou, my compatriot, is so good at penalties that Atlas Lion is going to eat us whole. Oh boy, how wrong was I, because another Atlas Lion ate us whole. Youssef Nseri. Because Sevilla came with a clear plan. They didn't have tactics. They had a clear strategy. They knew that David De Gea plus Lindelof plus Harry Maguire meant that we were not press resistant, meant that we were not secure at the back. And so if you put a little bit of pressure, if you knock on the door, the house of cards fucking crumbles. No tactics whatsoever. I didn't see anything in that game that indicates that Erik ten Hag has been outsmarted tactically. In fact, throughout the game, you could see Erik ten Hag, McLaren, Van der Gaag, all of them looking at their iPads just being like, I don't know, we've tried everything. Everything seems to be going well. Everything that we've asked the players to do, well, I mean, they are supposed to do it. Are they doing it or not? But I mean, every single instruction that we could have given the players is there. A lot of the patterns that have been successful in the game at Old Trafford, as well as in our previous Premier League games, notably against Nottingham Forest, Diogo Dalot as a left-sided inverted wingback, Sabitzer playing in that shadow striker with Anthony Martial moving into space. Same thing, the players tried to do them. But this game was different. Let me give you a very interesting and insightful piece of statistic. Do you know how many tackles in Sevilla's final third? Final third, yeah, third indeed, Manchester United's performance in Sevilla's final third, which is an indication of how well we are pressing, how aggressive we are in the press. Can you guess how many of those tackles have we executed in the game? The answer is 0. A fucking donut. 0. That means that our front line of Anthony, Martial, and Sancho was completely useless. Limp. Fucking limp. None of them were able to go and put any significant pressure on the Sevilla defense. Now, of course, the howlers by Harry Maguire and David De Gea are pretty well documented by now. I'm definitely making a video on that. That's gonna drop tomorrow. I'm not gonna make this video much longer than it's supposed to be. But there is another important statistic here. When you look at midfielders, usually a midfielder is supposed to have a passing accuracy of about 80 to around 90. Anything between 80 and 90% is pretty much standard for a midfielder for a club like Manchester United. 3 of our lowest pass percentage success rates were our 3 midfielders. Sabitzer was at 60%, 60 fucking percent. How abysmal is that? Christian Eriksen and Casemiro were both at around 75, 76%. That means that not only was our defense shaky, unsecure, and not press resistant, not only was our attack extremely limp and not aggressive at all, but also every time that our midfield eventually got the ball, they were wasteful. They were not effective when it comes to getting that ball from the defensive line to our front line so that we can actually create chances and score goals. So nothing went well. We did not do anything right. And that starting lineup that we had yesterday was good enough to beat Sevilla. This Sevilla team is not as good as the one from previous years. They're not doing well in La Liga. But we gave them their ticket, their fucking ticket. Served it to them on a golden plate. Their ticket to the next round. We have revived their season because of our incompetence. We went from 2-0 to 5-2. How is that even possible? And all 5 goals that they have scored, none of them were scored from some, amazing, well-developed, set plays. No patterns of play whatsoever. All of the goals were our own doing. We are our worst enemy. That's who we are. Manchester United, if you can't beat us, we will beat ourselves for you. Cheers.